news tonight. Standard 7 exam results show 3.78% pass rate increase. The number of voters registering for the local government election on the rise. And in sports, Tanzania's boxer Hassan Mwakinyo to fight Arnel Tinape from the Philippines on November 27. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get things started with the national news. The National Examination Council of Tanzania, NECTA, has announced the Standard 7 leaving examination results, which show a 3.78% increase in the pass rate, with the top-performing pupil nationally, Francis Hussein Gwaji, coming from Chato District, Geita region. Announcing the results in Dar es Salaam, the Executive Secretary of the Council, Dr. Charles Msonde, said 933,369 candidates sat for the examination, and that it has cancelled the results of 909 pupils found cheating.
Initial analysis shows that there has been an increase of 3.78% of the number of candidates who have passed compared to 2018. Pass rate in individual subjects is above average. However, English is not performing well compared to other subjects. In-depth analysis will be carried so as to prepare various reports on areas of weaknesses and improvement.
And 15 million people have registered to vote in the local government elections to be held on November 24th of this year, which is about 68% of the 22 million voters expected to be registered. This was said in Dar es Salaam by the Minister of State in the President's Office for Regional Administration and Local Government, Suleiman Jafo. He said the voters' registration exercise has had poor turnout in Moshi Municipal and Arusha City.
Mkoa ambayo imefanya vizuri zaidi sasa hivi unaongozwa na mkoa wa Pwani ambao umeandikisha kwa 80%.
The coastal region has so far excelled. At least 80% have been registered, followed by Dar es Salaam by 77%, Tanga by 76%, Mtwara and Lindi by 75%, Iringa by 74%. There are some other regions which have done well, but mentioned regions have done exceptionally well, such as Dar es Salaam and the coastal region. The regions that have done poorly is Kilimanjaro. By yesterday, only 48% was registered, followed by Kigoma by 53% and Arusha by 59%.
Zoezi linaenda vizuri kwa kweli, watu mwamko umekuwa mkubwa sana kuanzia jana na leo.
The exercise is going on well. Yesterday and today, the turn-up was good. I've been supervising since morning and more people are registering. 3 more days that have been added will allow even more people who have been busy to get registered.
President Dr. John Magufuli has paid tribute to Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa on the good performance in undertaking his duties. President Magufuli gave the praise in Ruangwa district when addressing residents of Lindi region.
Nilipata shida sana namna ya kumtafuta. Na hili nalisema kwa dhati, wala siwafichi.
I had a hard time nominating one. Some present were former ministers and deputy ministers, as well as some members of parliament. So I had a big task of which I prayed to God to help me. On the last day to announce the name, I remember very well because I couldn't sleep. The name that came to me was Majaliwa Majaliwa. I had not told him. So when the name was called out in the House of Parliament, he shed some tears because he did not expect to be a member of Parliament. He did not either expect to become the Prime Minister. He was a deputy minister, and to come from that and become the Prime Minister is a huge step. I commend you, the people of Ruangwa. You chose the right person, and I've come here especially to congratulate him. His work is excellent.
And Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam has directed the defense in the incitement case facing 9 leaders of opposition Chadema party, including the chairman Freeman Mbowe, to review sections of the law and will respond on procedures on giving evidence, as had been requested by the defendants who want witnesses to start before the accused. Magistrate Thomas Simba gave the directive after the defendants' advocate Peter Kipatala recommended their witness provide evidence before the accused, which was opposed by the principal state attorney Faraja Nchimbi. The case was then adjourned until the 17th of October. 11 people were killed by floods caused by ongoing rains in Morogoro region. The victims include 5 pupils from Nyashiro Primary School who were swept away by water from Mvuha River in Kibokwa Ward. The police commander in Morogoro region, SACP Wilbert Mutafungwa, said the deaths occurred during the rains in the past few days.
Ni kwamba familia mzee mmoja anaitwa Hamza Hassan.
A family belonging to Hamza Hassan, an elder gentleman aged 65, a farmer, together with his wife and children, were surrounded by water throughout the night and were forced to seek refuge on top of the roof, but later on the entire house was submerged and the family had to climb on a nearby tree, whereby the police force and fire and rescue service arrived at the scene and saved the family. The government and its weather forecasting agency have a duty to give correct weather forecast so as to avoid disasters such as this one from happening.
Economic sabotage offenders in Zanzibar have started to return the money to the government. The Director of Public Prosecution, Ibrahim Mzee, in the Isles made this statement at an occasion to recognize new lawyers who have completed training.
We've started and already I have received some applications from those who are willing to return assets acquired through deception. However, I cannot deliberate further because processes are underway. When there are vacancies like any other ministry, we announce positions available so graduates can apply. It is proper that when vacancies have been announced in the government, then they apply.
Hundreds of nationals from Mozambique living in Mtwara region have turned up to vote for presidential and parliamentary candidates vying in the general election taking place today in Mozambique. The chair of the Mozambique community in Mtwara, Rafael Canuti, said that all preparations for the voting exercise have been completed, with some voters saying they expect the elected leaders will improve security and strengthen relations between Mozambique and Tanzania.
I'm very happy that I've been able to vote for leaders who will bring us development so we can live peacefully in Mozambique and Tanzania. What I ask is to be allowed free movement in our own country and enjoy this peace we share. Our government has allowed all citizens living outside the country to have a registered card so that they can choose leaders they want. I ask everyone to come forward and vote.
The ambassador of Sweden in the country, Andreas Schobje, has commended the government of Tanzania on measures taken to control corruption malpractices. The Swedish ambassador made the comments in Dar es Salaam at a public debate on performance of civil servants.
It's corruption, but it's much less than in the average country. We have very little what you would call hand-to-hand corruption, petty corruption. Again, I think transparency is key here, that you demand the receipt as a client. You should always ask for a receipt, be it in the shop or if you're using a service from someone, you should always demand a receipt. And the vice versa. If you have a company, you should also make sure that you don't receive any money without being, without that it's being properly registered. tax authorities here play a very important role as in monitoring.
And that's all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, polls opened across Mozambique for presidential, parliamentary and provincial elections, seen as a test of a recent peace deal between the ruling party and the armed opposition. Nearly 13 million voters are registered in the Southern African nation, with preliminary results expected on Wednesday. Tensions were high in Mozambique on the eve of the election, which will likely see President Filipe Nyusi and his ruling Frelimo party maintain their grip on power. 3 family members have died following a fire at their house in Kariobangi South in Nairobi, Kenya. One of the victims was a 1-year-old child. Nairobi Police Commander Philip Ndolo said 2 other members of the family were rushed to Kenyatta National Hospital in critical condition.
We tried to help, but the place was locked inside, but they were making noise. So we broke the gate, also the doors. We called the fire brigade. Yes, they came. They also helped us.
The child was removed from the house and placed on the ground outside. People had cars, and there were people asking for help, but no help was provided. We asked those with cars at the parking lot to help us take these children to the hospital, but no one did so. However, when we asked for their cars and said the fire brigade was coming, everyone offered to take them. More than 1,000 families living on Mahango Mountain in Kasese West District, Uganda, face the threat of mudslides due to an ongoing rains in the area. The families have called on the government to move them to safer areas. The problems occurred following heavy rains that fell from 5 a.m. for over 6 hours, causing a mudslide in the room my children were sleeping in. That's where we leave off with international news. Business news follows after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Executive Director of the Confederation of Tanzania Industries, CTI, Lodgard Tenga, has said that emphasis on accountability and ethical procedures in industries has been given in getting the winners of the President's Manufacturer of the Year award.
Siku ya Alhamisi, tarehe 17 Oktoba.
The awards will occur on Thursday, the 17th of October, here at Serena from 5 p.m. These awards are usually given every year.
Sasa tuzo hili huwa zinatolewa kila mwaka kama nilivyosema.
Organizations from member states of the Southern African Development Community SADC have established a joint project which aims to assist entrepreneurs from the countries to exchange information on business and market opportunities. Institutions can give capital for business startups. Many of them are focused more on developing and established businesses. The Sunflower Processors Association in the country has called on farmers to use good quality sunflower seeds in the coming planting season in order to get big harvests instead of using poor quality seeds which result in low yields.
Katika mafuta ya alizeti Tanzania, tunapenda kuwashauri wakulima wa alizeti Tanzania.
We would like to advise sunflower farmers in Tanzania that as we enter this agricultural season, which as you know, December, January, February is planting season, farmers should use good quality seeds. There is a hybrid seed in the National Record seed that has been better improved to produce more oil.
Kwa sababu ndio mbegu ambazo zina mafuta mengi na kwetu sisi zinatupatia mafuta ya kutosha.
That's all for business news. Sports news is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose some length.
And in sports, the #1 boxer in Tanzania, Hassan Mwakinyo, has confirmed that he will fight Anel Tinampe from the Philippines on the 27th of November this year in Dar es Salaam.
He's a good boxer coming from the Manny Pacquiao camp. He's also the second best boxer in his country after Manny Pacquiao. He's a good opportunity for me and for him because it is champion versus champion. He lost in several fights, but he's very hard to be defeated by a knockout. And I have won several games, and I love winning by knockouts.
9 clubs have reached the requirements of taking part in the Dar es Salaam Darts Championships, which will take place on the 2nd and 3rd of November this year.
Administratively, everything is ready. The clubs have the information, so I believe every club is working hard to get the championship. Everyone wants to be winners because last year Lugalo were champions, and I don't know if they will be champions again. The 34-year-old has scored 95 for his country.
Career goal when he converted a 72nd minute penalty in Portugal's Euro 2020 qualified defeat by Ukraine. Here's more.
118 for Manchester United, 32 for Juventus, and 5 for Sporting. Portugal were beaten 2-1 in Group B, a result which meant Ukraine qualified for next summer's finals. They are top on 19 points from 7 games, 8 more than the second-place European champions Portugal, who have a game in hand and should qualify given the remaining 2 games are against Lithuania and Luxembourg. Third-placed Serbia are on 10 points from 6 games after an Alexander Mitrovic double gave them a 2-1 win in Lithuania.
The Bulgaria goalkeeper Plamen Iliev has said the home fans behaved well during the Euro 2020 qualifier against England at the Vasil Levski Stadium on Monday night, suggesting that Gareth Southgate's players overreacted a bit.
The match, which England won 6-0, was twice halted for racist chanting, but the Ludogorets goalkeeper said he had not heard anything, echoing comments made by his manager Krasimir Balakov. "If I am honest, I believe the fans, behaved well today," Iliev said. Balakov, who had suggested before the game that England had a bigger problem with racism than Bulgaria, said after the defeat, "I personally did not hear the chanting."
The NBA's most famous current player, LeBron James, has waded into the ongoing fallout between the league and China with comments that are sure to spark controversy. Here's the story.
The lucrative relationship between the league and China has been damaged since the Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey tweeted in support of anti-government protesters in Hong Kong earlier this month. Morey subsequently deleted the tweet, but China has threatened to cut ties with the NBA, and some Chinese companies have backed out of broadcasts and sponsorship deals. James was asked about the situation before his team, the Los Angeles Lakers, played the Golden State Warriors in a preseason game on Monday. He said, "I don't want to get into fill with Daryl, but I believe he wasn't educated about the situation at hand, and he spoke."
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to prepare this bulletin for you, thank you for watching and good night.
ITV, EATV, Capital TV, Radio 1, East Africa Radio na Capital Radio sasa zinapatikana